The Los Angeles Rams had a bottom-half offense and defense last season and yet found themselves inside the 10-yard line with a chance to upset the eventual Super Bowl champs. The season was a great success given the talent on the team and following the retirement of Aaron Donald. The Rams went 10-7 for the second year in a row, this time winning the division and defeating the Vikings in a wild-card round game that was full of emotion played in Arizona because of the California wildfires. The Rams had a stellar season from Defensive Rookie of the Year Jared Verse, who went for 4.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and 18 quarterback hits, which led the team. The Rams reloaded in the offseason, moving off Cooper Kupp and Demarcus Robinson and bringing in Devontae Adams and Terrence Ferguson, the rookie tight end out of Oregon. The Rams were also part of the Falcons' trade up to select Jared Verse. Los Angeles now has 2 first-round picks next year, giving them a better chance.
Falcons also traded up to get James Pierce.
James Pierce, not Jared Verse. Very similar names. I messed that up. Whoops.
You're good.
Strike. Giving them a better chance to select a quarterback in next year's draft. Now, Matthew Stafford, cue graphic, last season was solid, 3,700 passing yards at a 93.7 pass rating. Touchdowns way down, 20 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, but in large part it was due to the health of his weapons, who, cue graphic, had a good year, especially Tutu Atwell and Demarcus Robinson in games without Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua. Go ahead and look at Puka Nacua. This is through 11 games, 990 receiving yards. He was on a all-time pace, and he unfortunately had injuries that held him back throughout the season. He was nearly a 1,000-yard receiver through 12 games, which would be a college football season right there. Puka Nacua was elite. Cooper Kupp, they moved on from, even though he had a pretty decent season at 710 yards and 67 receptions. They bring in Devontae Adams from the Jets, but I more specifically want to talk about Matthew Stafford. Throw his graphic up there. Again, 3,700 passing yards, 20-8 touchdown interception ratio. My first question to y'all is, given that they traded now for a first-round pick next year and they have 2 next year, do you see this as Stafford's final year as the first sure quarterback 1 in Los Angeles? Do you see it as a year where he'll have another year of elite play, and specifically not from a statistical perspective, but from leading the team when the weapons aren't there, winning games they're not really supposed to? What do you guys see from Matthew Stafford this year, and then do you expect them to draft a quarterback next year?
I don't expect them to draft a quarterback next year.
He's under contract. Just for context, he's under contract for the next 2 seasons at $42 million a year, both guaranteed.
Or if they do draft a quarterback next year, it'll be under the knowledge that he's not really in play to be QB1 next year. They're just gonna draft and sit him a year.
Yeah.
I think the ball's in Matthew Stafford's court to just have a good season and quiet any questions about that. And I personally expect him to have a good season. I think Devontae Adams is an upgrade over Cooper Kupp at this point in their careers. Puka Nacua was fantastic, like you talked about, and the secondary weapons around the fringes are good as well. And in my opinion, he's still plenty good enough to facilitate an offense with good weapons and put up really good stats and win games. So
yeah, I think that I 100% agree. I do not think, especially because you said it's the Falcons.
I don't think any of those are going to be top 5 picks.
Right, exactly. So they're not even. They're probably.
But they could easily be top 15.
They're both probably going to be sitting in that 16 to 24 range.
If they have a guy they like, and I do feel like they're good at drafting and developing, so if they have a guy they like in that range, they may take him and sit him.
I think it's a lot more likely that they get QB 6 to 8, or this is just, it's so hard to know because we don't know what the QB draft class is going to look like, but there are 6 QBs, I've talked about this, that I think could have very good seasons and then turn around and be top 5 picks. There's 6 quarterbacks that I think are in play to earn that. And so I could see them getting QB5, QB6 and not trade up, and then that guy would definitely be a sit for a year, especially because $40 million as far as, it's not rookie money, but also as far as quarterback play goes, and if Matthew Stafford has a very good season this year, $40 million is not that expensive because you've got guys who are making 60.
Mm-hmm.
So that's definitely not cheap by any means, but it might be. And also the Rams have a good roster, in my opinion. They've gotten very fortunate with some of their draft picks and guys like Puka Nacua and Jared Verse.
Make your own luck.
Yeah, Verse was a first-round pick, but it's guys, and then Kyron Williams has turned out to be a very good running back for them. So they have been very fortunate in their draft analysis and their scouting and the guys they brought in. So it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense for them to kind of blow it up in a year and start a rookie quarterback.
I
So
don't expect
I
them
think
to.
Stafford has got 2 years left,
He's definitely got 2 years left. I
unless
think.
we see unless something happens.
Balls in
this
his
year.
court. Balls in his
Yeah,
court. Just play well.
unless we see a huge regression this year, I think.
How old is he?
37.
I was gonna
give
say
or
probably
take.
30. I can check it.
He signed an extension in May of this year, which got him next year's $42 million guaranteed, and kept him basically guaranteed to be on the team through the next 2 years. So I don't expect. For me, the route would be, given now that you have 2 first-round picks, you're allowed to take a quarterback next year and sit him for a year, which I'd prefer to do with really any quarterback coming out of the draft, unless it is an elite talent. But even the elite talents, I mean, you think of like Trevor Lawrence, terrible first year, whether you would think that was Urban Meyer or not, he still wasn't good.
I forgot Urban Meyer.
From a
was
production
there.
standpoint. Caleb Williams was not good last year, and whether you think that's Matt Eberflus or not, there is argument there on either side. But even with the top elite quarterbacks, the can't-miss prospects, Bryce Young wasn't a can't-miss prospect.
I was just
But
thinking like
yes,
first overall.
still
pick.
first overall pick. I don't think Rams would select a quarterback next year and start him. Matthew Stafford, I think, is the quarterback for the next 2 years. But they're in a great spot where they can select a quarterback next year, or even trade up for a quarterback next year if they wanted to get one of the top 5 guys and sit him for a year. They're in a great spot there. Defensively, they have a lot of weapons there, and it's a lot of weapons of not necessarily household names, but they had really productive seasons for the Rams last year. And while they were a bottom half defense in the league, they had good production from guys like Braden Fisk and Kobe Turner, who both had 8 sacks or more. Byron Young out of Texans was really good last year. Jared Verse didn't pop off from a numbers perspective, but the big thing for him was the quarterback hits, which he had 18 of. Now, they did lose Roseboom, who is their leading tackler last season with 135 tackles. He went off to the Carolina Panthers, and really they made no additions, both in free agency and the draft, to address that loss. And specifically, they did not take a single linebacker to fill that hole. So they're going to rely specifically on their front 7, more specifically their front 4, and then they're going to rely a ton on their safeties.
What happened to John Johnson? Is he hurt?
John Johnson is technically a free agent right now.
Okay.
He's a loss as well. But they're going to rely specifically on Cameron Curl and then their other safety. Okay. Cameron Curl. Who's their other starting safety? That's
Cam Curl. It's Cam Curl and Cameron Kinchins.
Okay,
So
they're going to rely on those guys to tackle a bunch. Cameron Curl, Cam Curl, whatever it is.
You're there. It's Cam Curl.
Yeah, it's Cam.
I have it as Cameron Curl. You can.
I mean, I'm sure his name is Cameron. Like,
he was one of their leading tacklers last season. They're going to rely on him to be a tackler, specifically in the run game.
miss him.
I think they're gonna. For them, it's can they get to the top half of the league in offense and defense, and that can be really the difference in whether or not they have a good season. And while you have productive guys like Kobe Turner, who was on The Masked Singer last year, and then popped off his head, and the judges had to act like they knew who Kobe Turner was, even though he did have 8 sacks last year.
Did he have a good voice?
He had a good voice, yes, a very good voice. And then, what's his name? Ken had to react like he knew who Kobe Turner was.
Senior Chang from
Yes,
Community. Yeah,
doctor.
he is a doctor.
He is a doctor.
Went to Duke. My
way.
freshman year,
He's a doctor. You didn't know that?
biomedical engineering class, our professor went to Duke and roomed with him, and
That's
there's
crazy.
a picture of him at Coach K's last game, sitting next to Dr. Ken. And he also was phenomenal on College Game Day. He's been one of the better guests in the
Absolutely.
past couple of years. Very funny guy. But yeah,
I'm very curious. Throw up their receivers graphic again. I know I made you flip it one more
You
time,
good?
but I'm curious, and I'm going to ask y'all: do you think Devontae Adams is a upgrade to Cooper Kupp, and do you expect this to be? I mean, is this one of the most elite receiver rooms in the NFL because of that? Are they up there with a Bengals receiving group of Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Puka Nakua almost had 1,000 yards through 11 games, so there's some argument there. Nakua's a top 5 pick, ADP right now. Cooper Kupp is a top. He's in the Seahawks one, but he was a top 70 coming up for this season, and then as well with Davante Adams, he's a top 40 pick as well. Do you see this as an elite group? Is Davante Adams an upgrade or a downgrade?
I think it's going to be about the same. And I don't think that they are. I mean, they're probably in the top 5, but I still think that Bengals wide receiver room is just so good. It's better. But Davante Adams, I don't think he's an upgrade. I feel like it's a little disrespectful to Cooper Kupp. I mean, Cooper Kupp won the Triple Crown 3 years ago.
That's a long time in football years.
Yeah, but he had a good season the year after that, and then last year he was hurt. So I'm not going to start dogging on Cooper Kupp yet. I still think that he was a very good wide receiver and will be good. He's at the Seahawks now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I expect him to be productive there this year.
Back home.
So I would not label Davante Adams as a straight up 1-for-1 upgrade.
I'll go and be disrespectful then, and I think Davante Adams is an upgrade.
I as well.
Okay.
I think it'll be an upgrade production-wise, like when they're on the field, but also I trust him to stay healthy way more than I trust Cooper Kupp to stay healthy. And considering that's been a huge issue for the Rams these past couple years, I would much rather have Davante Adams for that reason. Because I know Davante Adams has had some injury issues as well, but I still trust him to stay on the field more than Cooper Kupp.
I thought the Rams have had like historically good injury luck.
They have.
That's what I
they
thought.
were not lucky last year.
Okay.
Well, I feel like Cooper Kupp maybe is just then a guy that's always hurt, and
He has.
for one of your
He's
top
had
receivers to
issues
be
as
rough.
well, besides his Triple Crown year.
Sure.
I think it's a upgrade because of the scheme, not specifically because Davante Adams is necessarily way better than Cooper Kupp. But you think of Cooper Kupp and Puka Nakua, those are slot receivers, get open in tiny spaces, make contested catches in space. Davante Adams is a receiver you can throw out there in the X and play on the outside, while you can put Nakua now inside in the slot. And now you have the threat of over the top jump ball to Davante Adams, and then the intermediate stuff with Puka Nakua.
That's fair.
And I think that's going to help them a ton as well. Like Davante Adams, because of his size and his strength, is going to be elite over the middle of the field as well, and that gives Matthew Stafford that ability to throw the ball over the middle of the field. Cooper Kupp was really not that. He was more of a dink and dunk kind of guy, and then he would get open on the outside. And then with the other with Tutu Atwell, like he's never going to be your physical receiver on the interior as well. So Davante Adams, I think, is just an upgrade from a scheme perspective, allowing them to kind of create more dynamic packages. And Sean McVay, I think, is going to have a really fun time with Davante Adams. Although, of course, he loves Cooper Kupp. But I think it's going to be very interesting to see. Tyler Higbee is supposed to return. He only played 3 games last year. Another year where it was in large part because of the ACL tear in the divisional round, in the wild card round, against the Detroit Lions, where he took that hit into his knee on that tough catch and tore his ACL, and he missed pretty much all of last season, played in only 3 games at the end of the year. But he returns and is expected to be fully healthy for them. And he was a huge weapon for Stafford before his injury. And I think that's going to help that group as well. Kyron Williams, of course, is still back. I'm really curious to see how it goes for the Rams this year. I have them winning the division personally. Sanders, I saw you looking over there at Emmanuel Forbes.
Yeah, I do not think he would be making much of an impact on that defense this year.
I would not expect it either.
Good draft pick for my Commanders, man.
You win some, you lose some. He was drafted
nice.
too high, so he never got the chance. But he also did play well, so that didn't help either.
He's just too small.
Yeah, he is.
It did feel like he was partially just a guy who just had a knack for being in the right place at the right time, and so that just didn't translate to the NFL for whatever reason. Although Hail State always. The Rams, into their schedule here, they will play 5 national televised games. They play what is essentially a road game, and I've put it down as a road game because it is. They're playing the Jacksonville Jaguars in London this season, a team that has played in London each of, I think, the last 4 years since the COVID season. And they even played in London a ton prior to that as well. They've got some big Thursday night football games in division. hosting the San Francisco 49ers, and they go to Seattle late in the season. And then they'll play on Sunday Night Football and Monday Night Football, hosting Tampa Bay and going to Atlanta late in the season. So Rams are going to be in prime time a good amount, 5 of them specifically. And then they open the season hosting Houston, which I know I said it in the last episode, but I am excited. This is going to be, if I have a quad box, of course. When I watched NFL last season, I had a quad box, Saints game on a solo TV, and then usually we had another TV, and that was just another game. More often than not, it was just whatever the local game was. But Houston and Los Angeles will be in my quad box. You can go ahead and guarantee it, along with
good.
Miami and the Colts, and then who did I say last?
I don't remember.
In the last episode,
I
it was
don't-
one of the AFC East teams. So
Yeah, I can't remember.
it was Jets Steelers.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
that'll be in my
Revenge,
quad
yeah.
box.
I feel like Jets Steelers with the Aaron Rodgers return has to be. Well, hopefully we get some staggered start time so we can get 1 or 2 of those on a isolated TV.
Yeah, can you pull up the week 1 schedule and we can build our quad box here in a few minutes.
Yeah, we'll do it in between teams.
The Rams open the season hosting Houston, and then they'll go on a 2-week road trip to Tennessee and Philly. We see them as a team that's potentially could win the division. I have them winning the division with the same record as the 49ers, but they win the tiebreak there. Where do you guys see the Rams finishing out the season? And I have them 11-6. How about y'all?
Yeah, I also have them 11-6, and I also have them tied for winning the division. I actually don't know who has the tiebreaker for me.
I can do it for you.
But I don't.
Do you have them splitting with the 49ers? Or who do you have tied? Who do you have them tied with?
They'd be
He
tied
has
with the
them
49ers.
losing to the Rams twice, so the Rams won the division.
Okay, so there you go. They're my division winners as well. I agree with that in the sense of I think they're the best team in the division. I like the talent they have. For them to do what they did last year with the injury issues, and to hopefully get those guys back healthy, I expect good things from them, big things from them.
Yeah, that's fair.
So
I've got them losing the division by I think probably 2 games. I think I've got the 49ers going 12-5, or did I change 11-6? So but by 1 game, so it's close. They've got the best quarterback in the division. They've got the best wide receiver core in the division. But it's just I think we'll see. They definitely could win it, and it'll be close. And I might be a little bit higher on the 49ers than I should be. But I think it will come down to can they kind of maintain that injury luck they've had the past couple of years. That training staff has done a really good job there because, I mean, they bring in Adams, and he had injuries last year, right? So he got hurt last year.
play for the Jets, you're gonna have some injuries, man.
True. It's that turf.
He was also hurt when he was a Raider, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a Raider. Was he a Raider?
Yeah, because he went back and played with Derek Carr.
Yes, he was hurt while he was a Raider. Yes.
Played with his Fresno State guy.
But he was in the process of getting traded, so.
Yep.
And then kind of wasn't hurt, after getting traded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So shout out to him.
All right. San Francisco 49ers. Do we want to build our quad box real quick? Do you want to do that now?
Yeah.
Hail
break.
State's Finn.
Final thing on the Rams. As a group, we have them going 12-5. I need to look and see who won the tiebreaker there as well. We have them beating San Francisco twice, so they won the division as a group as well.
Good
at
stuff.
12-5. And that will have them winning the NFC West. That also has them as the 2nd seed in the NFC because our NFC North and our NFC South are division winners at 9-8. So the Rams are the 2nd seed in the NFC West currently for the Technical Foul predictions.
Shout out to him.
So shout out to the Rams. We look forward to seeing good things. And I might go to that game. That Monday Night Football game in Atlanta seems intriguing. I'm already doing one in Atlanta on Monday Night Football. But I'll be home because that'll be basically Christmas time. So I might go to that game.
That'd
be
be fun.
pretty cool.
That would be sick.